From the Clark Ford Studio in Oxford, Mississippi, MBW Digital proudly presents the Oxford Exxon Podcast.
I'd say thanks for tuning in, but why am I going to give you a round of applause for something that you're supposed to do, to be frank?
And now, here are your hosts, Chase Parham.
And broadcast school has really paid off.
And Neal McCready.
I deserve to be on TV.
Tuesday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal McCready, Clark Ford Studio this morning. Ole Miss had their weekly press conferences yesterday. We'll spend a little time on those and, frankly, just try to have some fun today on the show. We've got several more shows, a long week prior to Ole Miss and ULM Saturday at 3 o'clock. We also found out yesterday that the Ole Miss-Arkansas game in Little Rock next week is a 6:30 night start for that one. So congratulations to no one for that start time. I mean, you know,
sucks.
You get to play Arkansas and you think, hey, crap team, 11 o'clock. You know, in basically an alternate facility. No, 6:30 SEC Network for that event. So.
Yeah, I had in my mind 11 a.m.
I felt so good about 11 o'clock for that one.
I thought game over at 2:30. I'm out of there by 4:30. Kind of back home by 7:30. That was the plan.
Plans change.
It was a good plan.
Plans change.
And now it's 6:30. Game's over at 10. Back in a hotel at midnight. 12:30. I don't know.
Not feeling as good about it as you did at 11 a.m., is what you're telling me?
One of those deals where you start to wonder,
So about that whole let's watch the game and have a live YouTube feed during it, you know, something like that. You know what I'm just saying?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Don't know what the technology of that looks like, but hey, 10, 12 days to figure that out. So, anyway, we'll get into that and more coming up. We'll tell you it's time to become an Exxon Mobile Rewards member. You can do that online inside any Blue Sky, inside the Oxford Exxon, and more. You'll earn 100 points immediately after you register to be used, and even more points per gallon in the first 30 days. You'll also earn an extra 15 cents per gallon in points for the first 30 days as well. So we've been telling you about Speed Pass Plus. Now it's time to be an Oxford or an Exxon Mobile Rewards member as well. Again, you can sign up online or inside the Blue Sky today. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900 is the number. Call the number, ask for Corey Clark, tell Corey what new Ford you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's really that simple. It's right to the bottom line, no haggling, no hassle. We tell you that all the time. That's really how it works. You call, you say, hey, here's kind of what I'm thinking about. And he sends you a quote, typically by email. It's really fast. And you go from there. And you can shop that quote around if you'd like. You have a baseline to work with, I suppose. Or you can do what so many others have done, what I did, and that's say, let's get it done. And then from there, that's where Corey is really terrific at what he does. They'll get the vehicle to you. You don't have to get to Amory. They can find a way to get it to you. Great service after the sale. A great staff of people. Really, they do a fantastic job at Clark Ford. I've been thrilled with my purchase. You will be too. You'll be even more thrilled if you'll tell Corey that you heard about Clark Ford on the podcast, because you'll save an additional $500 on your already bottom line deal at Clark Ford, 662-257-1900.
Congratulations to my friends Aaron and Ben Napier. Their book is out today. Friends of the podcast as well.
I saw them on the square a couple months ago.
Did you?
I did.
I think they were on Good Morning America this morning.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw that on social media. But anyway, their book out today. It's called Make Something Good Today, obviously titled after the journal that started this whole thing for them 10 years ago, probably almost by now. So, anyway.
Kind of working out.
It's working out, yeah. Good people. You skimmed over this the other day, or you put it on Twitter. I'm sorry, we hadn't even talked about it. So you did wear the Holland and Cherry on Saturday night?
I did. I got a little concerned because I pulled into Tiger Stadium. I got bored in the hotel. So
that happens for 8 o'clock games.
I slept till about 8. I got up. I had some breakfast, mainly because I was bored, not because I was hungry. Went back to my room, hung out for a little while, went and worked out. watched the Cubs and Cardinals, cursed Michaelis, and then it's like it was a fast game. It was a 2-1 game. So the game's over in 3 hours. And so it's 3 o'clock. I'm like, what the hell do I do now? Because the game, Ole Miss didn't play till 8. And I happened to look at the weather, and it was like, ooh, it might rain. I better get there. And they have us parking in a different place now. And so I thought, well, it might take a little while. And so I did. And as I get out of the car, it starts to sprinkle. And I'm like, I better hustle. And I got to the stadium just before kind of the bottom fell out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually just sat there and worked for a while, worked on 10 Thoughts, visited with some fellow writers.
Socialite that you are.
The socialite that I am. I actually visited very little. But I got some stuff done. It's a boring trip.
Just getting back to the pants at some point. Was there a point?
Oh, sorry. The pants are awesome.
Okay.
You're right. They're super thin.
They're very thin.
Not
in a poorly constructed thin.
No.
They're light. They're not thin. They're light.
They're light. They're breathable. They're really nice. And a lot of times, like pants like that look super wrinkled after you wear them for 3 minutes.
Really didn't. No.
And these don't at all.
No, they hold structure pretty well
the entire time.
Yeah.
No, I was really pleased with them. Like I tweeted this. Unless you're one of the 0.0137% of people that look worse than me, you really should think about a pair. They're really good.
I mean, if they make you look sort of good, then what they do for everybody else.
If they make me look okay, I kind of thought they did. If they make me look okay, you should get some. Because odds are overwhelming you're better looking than me. And if you're not, God bless you. Someone loves you anyway.
Promise we're going to get on football for just a minute. We're not going to stay on it long, but for a minute and a second. Where are you falling on this? By the way, have you seen all the dust up stuff from the Ryder Cup? All the issues?
No.
All right. Couple of those things real quick, just for anybody that hadn't really been paying attention. So in the press conference, back up. There's people that aren't golf.
Yes, there are. There are plenty.
All right. Typically in the past, Patrick Reed and Jordan Spieth have been a very good pair team in team competition.
Oh, I did see something about this.
Okay. So they did not play together in this. Instead, Jordan Spieth played with Justin Thomas, who he's really good friends with.
Okay.
And then Patrick Reed played with Tiger Woods. Patrick Reed has sucked for the better part of the last 5 months, and he was really bad this week, too. He won his singles match in garbage time, but whatever. They were asked about, in the press conference after the Ryder Cup, did you guys decide not to play together? How'd that kind of work out? And Spieth gave a very politically correct answer. After it's over, Reed talks to a reporter from the New York Times and basically blames it all on Spieth, says that he had no communication with anyone about it, that it was a mistake, that he shouldn't have sat 2 sessions, basically threw everyone under the bus once it's over.
Okay.
Kind of curious what their charter flight was like on Monday after this, getting back to the States from Europe the next day.
Probably not super pleasant.
Well, then we find out yesterday as well that in the Europe team room, I guess during the party after it's over, Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson almost get into a fist fight in the middle of the thing.
Now, they're both Americans.
They're both Americans, yes, that is correct.
But they went into the Europe team room?
No, that happens. The both teams come together for a party at the end of the event. So they're probably just in the European team room for the party, is my guess.
Gotcha.
So they almost come to blows at some point in this. We have a source that's a member of Team USA telling the New York Post this morning that Patrick Reed's, quote, full of blank, and says none of that's true that he said whatsoever. So we have that going on as well. Little chemistry issues here between – you can have a team with too many alphas.
Oh, sure.
And things don't work well.
Sure.
I mean, forget golf or Ryder Cup, just in general.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the things Steve Kerr does not get enough credit for. Steve Kerr has managed that with the Golden State Warriors.
I mean, the U.S. had on this team 1, 2, 3. Just off the top of my head, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players that have been top 3 in the world at one point.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff in that.
A lot of ego in there.
Yeah, so anyway, we don't have Europe's team chemistry. All that stuff's going on. It's all starting to come out. God bless probably Steve Stricker 2 years from now when he's the Ryder Cup captain for 2020. But this is what I was getting to.
Okay.
The country has gotten very litigious in recent years.
The United States of America you're referencing? Okay.
Yeah, the country.
Gotcha.
I have major problems here. And not saying this is, it sucks. It is a very bad thing. But a woman on Friday morning, I think it was a person, on Friday morning, Brooks Koepka hit a tee shot during the first session of the Ryder Cup, and it hit a woman in the face. Okay?
Okay.
It has since, well, I guess at the time, but they have since decided that she is now blind in the eye that it hit her in.
Oh, God.
And she is threatening to sue everyone. You're on the fairway on a golf course watching golf where people do not hit the ball straight, and a drive in golf is in the air 5 seconds. Plenty of time to turn your head. Maybe you do get hit, but there's some understood liability here where immediately sue everyone. I have issues here. I'm not okay with this. If and again, she hasn't done it yet. Just considering.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I was at a Cubs Mets game last September, and I was sitting at good seats away from the net, and I was paying attention to the contest. And then about the 7th inning, Cubs were winning big, if I recall, and I was starting to think about leaving because I was hungry. And Carson was blowing up my phone telling me about the game that I was watching. And I was looking down at my phone, and one of the Mets left-handed hitters was late on a swing. And the ball went right over my head. And I was looking at my phone. And I remember thinking to myself, if that had hit me, it's on me.
Well, and that's a baseball game where it's split second. In golf, again, there's ways to get hit. Don't get me wrong.
But the ball's in the air, and you can see the ball coming at you.
It's a hole. This would be like getting hit by a fly ball in right field.
The bottom line was she wasn't paying attention.
And, I mean, now look.
It's tragic.
Reading about it is one of the most gruesome things I've read. It's terrible. I'm not minimizing that whatsoever.
Right.
I mean, they use the word explode when it hit her in the eye.
Oh, God.
I mean, I can't imagine.
No.
And I understand being very frustrated.
Oh, sure. Life-changing event.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't doubt that there is some semblance of support or compensation from somewhere just on their own, frankly.
Right.
But I don't know.
But there's really no one to sue.
Yeah, I mean,
who are you suing?
There is implied danger when you're on a golf course.
Well, it's probably on the ticket.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it's a tragedy.
People are hitting balls 180 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I've always watched the people that get around the thing.
The green?
Not the green, but the tee box.
Oh, yeah, in case somebody sends one off sideways.
Yeah, and you're like, how do you know that they're not going to miss?
They really trust the best players in the world to hit that thing straight.
See, I don't trust anybody that much.
Well, I mean, it was I don't remember what tournament it was. It might have been the Masters. Like, Rory did kind of duck hook shank one off the tee, and you thought, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, because it went right over the top of the crowd where could have.
Yes, no. Nope, I'm all.
I mean, they're human. They can hit it sideways.
Yes. I mean, I've watched the best players in the world find water.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, nope. I want to be behind.
In the stands right behind, all good.
I'm all good there because
they're not hitting it backwards.
The odds of them hitting it backwards are 1 in 80 gazillion. There's a better chance of me getting struck by lightning 3 times.
Yeah, because the odds aren't even really good that you would hit it backwards. And then if that's
I played an entire round and didn't hit it backwards.
No.
Didn't even come close to hitting it backwards.
No.
Now, I hit a couple sideways.
Yeah.
But I didn't hit any backwards.
No.
So if I'm sitting back there, really the odds of me getting hit by a ball back there, I've got a better chance of getting struck by lightning that was fired from an alien in another galaxy.
Yeah. But
right?
Oh, yeah. But closing the topic, I mean, I don't know. I'll probably get into golf with Jeffrey later in the week because I'll get on a soapbox a little bit. But we're making this too complicated. Just play better golf. We got outplayed. Didn't make putts. Didn't hit fairways. It's not complicated.
No, we all do this with all sports.
When you're playing your own ball, especially in the 4-ball rounds, I mean, alternate shot, there's a little bit of team chemistry. A little. In 4-ball, you're just playing your own ball. You're just paired with the dude. Go make a birdie.
We all make sports too complicated. It's games.
Yeah. Are we picking the team in a bad way? Maybe. Are we picking the wrong courses when we're the home team? Maybe. But as far as just the golf, play better.
Yeah.
Make the putt.
Both teams are playing the same course.
Yeah.
Playing with the same rules.
Europe does a better job of picking courses for their advantage. America does not pick courses for their advantage.
Yeah.
That's our fault. That's not their fault.
No, it's on us.
When Europe gets to pick the course, then set the course up, well, I'm going to find a way to make that
but
be
they
advantageous
still have to play
me.
the course.
Yeah, you're not given points just because you're the home team.
No.
They just kicked our tail.
Yeah. Period.
They played better.
The end.
Kind of happens in a lot of sports, doesn't it? They just played better.
It's sports. It's sports. Typically comes down to a couple of things. Cubs Brewers yesterday came down to really a couple of pitches. All games do.
I have watched less than 10 Cubs games this season. I don't know how many. Not many. I watched that game yesterday. The better team won.
Yes, of course. I've been saying this. How long have I been saying this?
I just kind of watched them and I went, I get it's just one game, but just something about it. You can read a little bit.
Well, here's the moment in that game. There's two moments.
Yeah.
Actually, there's three. I'll be quick.
You got 6 minutes.
It's 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Game's 1-1. And Jesse Chavez comes in for the Cubs, strikes out Braun, because Yelich gets a hit, because that's all Yelich does is get hits. He strikes out Braun, and he gets Aguiar to hit into the double play. So it's kind of a momentum swing.
Okay.
Bottom six, Ian Happ comes up, leads off the inning, and draws a walk from Julius Chassin, who's still pitching for the Brewers and beginning to tire. I thought Craig Counsell did a fantastic job managing the game for Milwaukee yesterday because he was very honest with his team, with media, with everyone, and he said, I'm not bringing Hader in a tie. I'm not going to pitch Josh Hader and lose the game.
Yeah, he had Woodruff up there in the 8th even, yeah.
Yeah. Had the Cubs held them in the 8th, Woodruff was coming in. Because Craig Counsell knew, as much as Joe Madden knew as well, although I didn't think Madden managed a particularly good game, he knew that
there's tomorrow.
You have to win one of two games to get to the division series. So you can't lose twice on the same day, and you can do that by screwing your bullpen, which I think Madden probably did. Regardless, Wilson Contreras comes up, and as he has done all season, in a spot where the one thing you can't do is hit into a double play, he tries to hit an outside fastball, tries to pull it. Instead of drive it into right field, move the runner. So it's a double play. Big moment in the game. Chavez comes back, gets 3 up, 3 down. Cubs go in order in the 7th. Cubs bring in Justin Wilson in the 8th. He has an 0-2 count on Orlando Arcia. Orlando Arcia, who his average against the four-seam fastball this year is 134. Okay? Orlando Arcia had fouled off a four-seam fastball weekly and had missed one. He have an 0-2 count. Nobody on base, 0-2. You do not throw a breaking ball that hangs in the damn zone. This is people overthinking it. What do you throw right there? A four-seam fastball. You put it maybe someplace where he can't do anything with it, but you throw a four-seam fastball. And then you follow it with another four-seam fastball because he can't hit the four-seam fastball. That's why he's hitting 8th in that lineup. If you get an out right there, Counsell has a different decision to make. Maybe he still goes with Santana, but you probably get a different result. And then you go to the bottom of the 8th, Woodruff comes in, and maybe you win the game, maybe you don't. Instead, the Brewers got 2 runs, and they brought in Hader, who was terrific. I did think the end of the game was kind of fascinating because if they end up playing again, the Rizzo-Hader matchup is interesting. I thought Baez had a terrific at-bat with 2 outs and nobody on against Hader. One of his best at-bats of the season, as crazy as that sounds. And then Rizzo has good at-bats against him. He just missed on that last play of the game. So, I don't know. Cubs and Rockies tonight. Rockies are going with Freeland on 3 days rest. You never know what a pitcher's going to look like on a day's less rest. It's amazing. A lot of pitchers just cannot be sharp on 3 days rest. They pitch on 4 all year, and suddenly you go 3, and the curve's not quite as sharp. You don't throw quite as hard. You don't have quite as much command, and major league hitters punish you. We'll see. But he's left-handed, and I'm throwing left-handers against the Cubs whenever possible.
Yeah. Get back to that here in a little bit. First, to tell you, the podcast is brought to you in part by Oxford Wine and Spirits, located on College Hill Road next to Lost Pizza, 5% below industry standards as is. Great selection. It's getting better every single week. And they offer some podcast discounts as well. You spend $150 or more, 10% off liquor, 5% off wine when you mention the show. They're at Oxford Wine and Spirits, again, on College Hill Road.
Podcast also brought to you by Harry Alexander. Harry is an Oxford-based RE/MAX Legacy Realty agent. He's been in Oxford more than 4 decades. No one knows the residential and condo market in Oxford better than Harry. Go to his site. He'll prove it to you. HarryAlexander.com. Click on the Properties and Neighborhoods tab. Filter through by what you're looking for, and then send him an email. It's ha@harryalexander.com. The Ole Miss volleyball team returns home Sunday at 1:30, where they square off with the LSU Tigers. As always, admission is free at the Gillum Center. The Ole Miss soccer team returns home on Sunday as well, as they take on Arkansas at 2 p.m. For more information, visit OleMissSports.com. The Ole Miss football team returns to the Vault on Saturday for homecoming as they take on Louisiana Monroe. Tickets can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. And Square Jam returns for 2018. Join the Ole Miss Hoops teams for a night on the square on October the 19th at 6:15 p.m. For more information, visit OleMissSports.com. And this podcast is also brought to you in part by the Westin Jackson. Restore serenity to your soul by visiting Soul Spots, the ultimate luxury spa experience in downtown Jackson. Indulge in personalized massages, signature facials, soothing body treatments, and much more on their extensive spa list. Escape from the everyday and rejuvenate yourself in the luxury spa today. And then gather at Estelle Wine Bar and Bistro, sip on a creative craft cocktail, or enjoy their curated wine list. It's open for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch. Chef Caden's mission is to connect guests with the community through local partnerships, so gather at Estelle tonight.
Podcast is brought to you by Tyson Drugs. TysonDrugs.com is the website. They have a great app as well. They're located in downtown Holly Springs. Give them a call at 662-252-2321, or in Oxford, G&M Pharmacy on South Lamar. They deliver local in the Oxford area and give you compliance packaging to make sure all medication is ready to be taken at the appropriate time. That can save lives, and Tyson Drugs and G&M Pharmacy can take care of that for you. Again, 662-252-2321. Matt Luke, Wesley McGriff, Phil Longo speaking yesterday. Videos, transcripts, more up at rebelgrove.com, as well as some more content.
If you want to know about the press conference, it's on the site.
There's a lot there from a content standpoint yesterday. Every single word in multiple forms.
You want it in quick hits? We give you that.
Yeah.
You want to read it? We give you that.
You want to watch it?
You want to watch it? We give you that. If you are an absolute masochist and you want to do it all, you can do that too. I wouldn't tell anybody, but you can.
I either text you or leaned over or something during this, or maybe we talked about it afterwards. I thought Matt Luke was kind of going to go into what we were discussing yesterday morning and then kind of backed off from it there at the end. Kind of started it and just didn't take the plunge. Kind of dipped the toe in the water, if you will.
I had 10 seconds where I said, son of a bitch, he read my column and he's
exactly
taking my
like
advice.
It at the beginning, and then it backed off.
And then he backed away.
Yeah.
And I thought at that point he did not read my column.
No. Not that he should have read your
No,
column.
not that he should read it. As I said, Matt Luke's not asking me for advice, nor should he. I don't know.
My advice for Matt Luke today,
Yes.
everybody talks about it, and it's not within question. I think it is frustrating fans because it's some semblance of a platitude, even though it's true. I think he needs to go a few weeks without talking about his love for the school. It's known. It's not in question. There's no doubt that's true. It's not changing anything positively or negatively right now, and
No.
I'm getting this sense from the fan base that they're getting annoyed by it.
Well, because some of the people who are annoyed by it believe that's the reason he got the job. And it's enforcing what is becoming a negative in some of their eyes. I have a few things to say, because I know if I get text, I can't even imagine your phone. I get text going, why are people upset they're 3-2? They're exactly where you and most people thought they would be. Why are you upset? Not why are you upset. Why are people upset?
Right, yeah, I got you.
I get that. I understand it. And there's some degree of validity to that point. It's the way they've done it. It's not even by not being competitive, because I'm not having the talent debate with anybody else again. I'm on record how I feel about the talent thing. We can talk about why there is this disparity of opinion about talent. I think that's fascinating. But the are they or are they not talented debate, I'm done. I'm not having it anymore. I think it's just the way that they looked. It's the way that they haven't been competitive. It's the way that the game is over in the first quarter. It's the way that you watch just a little and you go, there's really no way. And I've heard people try to spin some of LSU and go, well, if they'd made that pass to Lodge, or if they hadn't blocked the punt, roughed the punter, or if this, or if that, or if this, well, you could do that with anything. You can lose a football game by 4 touchdowns, and I can come up, if those 4 touchdowns hadn't happened. It's
frankly kind of evened out, because LSU has 2 critical turnovers where if you want to get the other direction, you get beat 61 or 59-15 or whatever it was.
Yeah, it just
frankly it sort of went both ways, and that's about what it was.
As it typically does.
Yeah, that was about what it was.
Sort of even out. So I don't know. It's the eye test. It's what it looks like. It's not only was the tight end on that 4th and 1 where they threw the little, or 3rd and 1 where they threw the long pass to the tight end, and there was nobody within 30 yards. They blitzed 11 people basically.
Yep.
It's just stuff like that you watch and you go, what are you doing? And then I think it's the people that are watching the press conferences. There's a defensiveness that pops up a little bit that, I don't know, this was going to be a hard season. This was always going to be a hard season. And there are people with different ways of looking at life. This is the truth. And when all of those people come together in a community, whether it's a message board or in a social setting or in a stadium, it creates conflict. Because there are people,
the pessimist, the optimist, the realist, the whole deal.
There are people that are optimists no matter what. The doctor walks in and says it's pancreatic cancer and you have 2 weeks to live, and they say, I'm going to beat this. And there's nothing wrong with those people. But that viewpoint is so foreign to the person who wakes up every day and goes, today I've had 3 good days in a row. This day is bound to be awful. I am braced for the absolute worst.
Yeah.
No, I'm not asking the girl out. She will say no. That will devastate me. It'll take me a month to get over it.
Those 2 dudes having beers are not going to have a good day and good conversation.
They're never really going to get along much. Because the optimist is like, if she says no, man, it's her loss. Her loss. She would have loved me.
The next one's saying yes.
The next one's saying yes, and the next one's going to be better looking than her.
Yeah.
That guy and the guy that goes, nah, man, I can't ask that girl out. There's no chance. Are completely different people. And then there's the realist guy who looks at it kind of like I watch the Cubs. They're good. They're not winning a World Series. Completely changes my mood. In 2016, I watched all year going, this team's good enough to win the World Series.
Your team won 95 regular season games.
They did, but if you watched them, you knew they weren't winning a World Series. They were winning a lot of 2-1 kind of games. Their run differential wasn't what it needed to be.
You want to give me Dodgers, Astros, and Red Sox. I'll be happy to give you the other 5 and let you have at it.
Yeah. Dodgers, Astros, Red Sox are the 3 best teams. The Brewers, for as good as they are, and they've now won 96 games, they're flawed. They're not a good defensive team. Their starting pitching is not deep. They're going to be overly reliant on that pen, and in a 7-game series where you play 3 games in a row, that middle part of that series they're going to get exposed. My opinion. That's my projection.
Sure.
The Dodgers are going to beat the Brewers in a 7-game series.
Okay.
Anyway, I just think it's different. It's funny to watch people there. Then there are people that look at Ole Miss and go, okay, I can see this. You can tell it's a new coaching staff. You can tell it's a coaching staff that's not particularly cohesive. You can tell it is a team that is top-heavy in terms of talent. More of the talent's on the offensive side than the defensive side. I thought there were a couple of little jabs yesterday. Wesley McGriff took a little – I thought it was a little jab at Phil Longo.
That did coil me a little bit too. I heard that.
I went back and watched it.
Okay.
To go, okay, am I listening for something? Am I looking for something? Because I have a tendency to kind of look for it. But that hit me out of the blue. And then I went and looked at it. 80, he goes, well, we're going to have to play him because they moved Armani Linton from running back to defensive back because of all the injuries they have back
C.J.
there.
Moore's out for at least a game.
C.J. Moore's out for probably 3 games.
Yeah.
But he's out for this one Saturday.
He's got a torn pec anyway.
Out for this one Saturday for sure.
Yeah.
And they're already without Montrell Custis.
And Jalen Jones. Yeah.
And they put Armani back there, and the talking point was he's going to have to play. He's a smart kid. He's played there before. He's going to have to play. He has no choice but to play. Hey, we're going to be out there 80 plays. Someone's going to play. I thought, ooh.
He said the 80 plays?
80 plays, huh? Interesting. Well, a number out of the blue. His point is this offense, when it goes fast and it doesn't score.
Now, look, there's no doubt. I mean, look, defense – major problems. I'm not glossing here.
No,
we've talked about this at nauseam.
The numbers bear it out.
But it's relevant. And you say it all the time. It's the couple that doesn't match. It's the gorgeous guy and ugly girl or
I'm
whatever.
Listening to you. I'm going to get my SEC stats so that I can support some of this. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got to let him hear it, so we'll stall for a minute. He's running into another room for some reason. I'm not even sure he's wearing Cub stuff today. Maybe he is. He had it all over yesterday. Was kind of nervous. Today, not as much. Deflecting, I think. Do you have Cubs on today?
Yeah, I have a Cubs.
Okay, no, he does. Sorry, it's the thing. Yeah.
It's the come back shirt.
Yeah, that's right. Come back shirt. Anyway, yeah, it's definitely mismatched, but the team has no depth. They're playing a ton of plays, and they're playing so many plays. I mean, so many that when you do their yards allowed by plays, it's still really bad, but it's like, well, there's been moments where they've been okay. They just have to do it all the time. It's just constant. So
yeah.
There is a little bit of a give and take there. I mean, I did not ask for this stat. Somebody else did yesterday, but Dylan found it. On Twitter. What?
I'm going to make an analogy in a minute. It makes me laugh already.
All right. So, Ole Miss and 12-plus play drives, okay?
Okay.
Since the start of 2016, Ole Miss has had 22 12-play drives since 2016. That ranks 69th nationally. 7 of those 12 ended in touchdowns, okay?
Okay.
But here's the interesting part. Out of those 22, 12 of those happened with freeze in 16. So since the start of 2017 to now, 17 games.
Yes.
Ole Miss has only had 10 12-play drives or more, and only 2 have turned into touchdowns.
It's awful.
And now that's going to be way worse than 69th because you had 12 that one year with freeze.
You have this offense that goes fast, 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 and you have this defense that has no depth. It is literally – it's not literally. I'm making a bad comparison. You went to the wedding recently?
Oh, yeah.
You went to the wedding where the I think it was the bride came from the devout Baptist family that does not drink.
Other way.
Okay. The groom
Yeah.
came from the family that, by God, we do not have a sip. And I'm not judging. I don't care. I'm not making a religious judgment. I'm not. Stop. And then the other side was like, hey, open bar, let's pour it down. And when you put everybody together, it's awkward. It's awkward. And people get their feelings hurt. Gets a little, You know what I mean? It's always something. And when they have a kid, how that kid's raised is going to be a big point of contention with the families and stuff. And it's always, here's the truth. It won't work. they'll be in marriage counseling within 5 years. It doesn't work.
No sleeping judgments here at all for people.
But it doesn't work. This doesn't work.
He's holding the stat sheet now, waving it around.
This doesn't work. In 7 games, Matt Luke's going to make a decision. I can tell you one of the decisions that is not on the table is status quo. Something's going to change.
While I understood the overall point, I thought the RPO answer was a bit of a scapegoat answer yesterday. Ask about getting out of the run early, and Phil basically said that was the looks they were given.
His answer to everything is that we're gonna chase grass, which doesn't work against elite SEC teams because they close the gap on that grass.
But the point being, you're constantly, every single play, allowing a defensive formation to dictate your game plan.
Yes.
Every time. You're never just, hey, let's run into this a certain way to whatever. I mean,
and it's an offense built on winning one-on-ones, and on Saturday, Greedy Williams won his one-on-one all night. He did.
I think he gave up 3 catches all night. That was it.
Greedy Williams had a great game.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf did not have as great of a game.
No, DK had a very, very poor score from Pro Football Focus this week. He's banged up late, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a mess. I mean, easy way to put it.
And so they roll out on Saturday against a team like ULM, and they'll go back to doing that quick strike thing, and they'll score a bunch of points, and we'll do this all over again. Some of the people that we work with on the beat, I'm not making fun of anybody, but they're going to go, hey, so we got it fixed. Well, no, it helped to play ULM. They're 0-2 in the Sun Belt. That helped.
And it's back to your original point. Even in those games, they haven't been able to put 4 quarters together. I mean, at halftime, both of those games very much in doubt. That's why the 3-2 is not as big of a deal as another 3-2 would look. If you had just hammered Southern Illinois and hammered Kent State and beat Texas Tech the way you beat them, and even if LSU went like it did and Bama was a little closer, you go, okay, fine, whatever.
Kind of are where we are, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we look like an SEC team for 60 minutes against the crap teams on the schedule.
But you trailed Southern Illinois 38-35 at halftime.
Is that what it was?
Yes, and you were tied with Kent State, who got mauled by Ball State last week.
13-point underdog to Ohio this week.
You were tied at the half, and they were in the game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, blew them out, but
so when people do the 3-2, and look.
What are you pulling up?
These are stats. These are your base stats, which at the end of the day, I realize that we've analytically gotten beyond some of this. But when you are 14th in the league in scoring defense and 14th in the league in total defense, 122.8 yards per game away from 13th. When you are 14th in the league in rushing defense, 31.6 yards away from 13th. And when you are 14th in the league in pass defense, almost 14 yards away, almost 17 yards away from 13th, you're not good. And offensively, when your defense is those numbers, you've got to do some things to keep them off the field. You have to adjust. And you keep throwing the same offense out there. And in 8 weeks, when this season is over, Matt Luke faces the absolutely most critical offseason of his coaching tenure. He's got to make hires and install schemes that meld.
Wesley McGriff really just quoting facts. I'm looking this up. Would you like to hear play counts from the game so far?
Yes.
Texas Tech ran 98 plays in week 1. 98.
It's just unbelievable.
Southern Illinois in week 2 ran 97 plays.
Whew.
Southern Illinois.
Yep.
Alabama ran 75 plays because they geared down.
Yeah.
They could have run more.
Yeah.
Kent State ran 86 plays in Week 4. And that was with Woody Barrett throwing it all over the yard. Not in a good way. And then LSU ran 82 plays. So they're actually averaging way more than 80. Wesley was in some ways being kind.
Well, he was just saying they're going to run 80 plays.
Yeah. And ULM probably does move pretty quick and go.
Oh, ULM's tempo.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I fully anticipate Saturday being interesting.
Marcus Green probably has a big day, so you get the whole local kid kills you in the angle at some point.
Yeah.
Kid from North Pontotoc.
Here's some other stats, Ole Miss defense. These are the stats that you can't blame on the offense.
Okay.
Third down conversions, Ole Miss is 13th in the league defensively. Opponents convert 42.3% of third down conversions. Sacks, Ole Miss is tied for 8. They're actually okay there. Opponent first downs, Ole Miss is giving up 20.
And now, look, it counts. I hate when people take the good or the bad away, but they did have 7 against Kent State.
Right. 7 against Kent State, and they have a total of 10.
Okay.
So they have 3 in the other 4 games.
Right.
Opponent first downs, Ole Miss is allowing 28.6 first downs a game. How bad is that, you ask? Good question. Arkansas is 12th in the league. They allow 19.4. Vanderbilt is 13th. They allow 21.4. So it's 7.2 first downs per game worse than Vanderbilt.
And some of that comes back to plays. Some of it.
Some of it, but it's also the inability.
90 freaking plays.
It's the inability to get off the field. You have that, and you have an offense that just goes, well, go back. It doesn't work. I'm not criticizing either side. My point is not that one side's bad or that one side's good or that one scheme's good or that one scheme's bad. It's not that. My point is the two schemes don't mesh. The two schemes don't mesh.
And even with the tempo, they're not scoring points.
Right. If you're going to run that
That's what Miro said yesterday. He goes, at this point, fast or slow, just score.
But if you're not going to score, slow down.
Saints did that Sunday against the Giants. They really tried to control tempo and stop and go, hey, defense has been struggling. Let's be more ball control this game, and they did. Saints really controlled rhythm and tempo with that game.
The Saints had mismatches against Odell Beckham Jr., against Sterling Shepard. And so what did they say? It's funny. I've yet to see Odell Beckham Jr. play linebacker, so let's put him on the bench.
Yeah.
Because he's dangerous. So put him on the bench.
Yeah. They slowed it down, got Kamara involved in the backfield. We're just going to do this.
Work some clock, run some play action, move the ball, eat a drive.
Ended up beating the crap out of them.
They ended up blowing them away because you take chances away from Odell Beckham Jr. to hurt you.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll move on in a second. Podcast brought to you in part by Visit Oxford. Remember, double-decker bus tour, 2 o'clock Friday before the ULM game the next day. Thacker Mountain Radio broadcast in front of a live audience on Thursdays at 6 p.m. at Off Square Books. Neil loving the joke of the National 10-Minute Festival coming in November 15th through 18th. The Wizard of Oz is
the
at the
National 11 Seconds Festival is in Louisville at Porcini's. Don't miss it, and if you blink, you will.
The Wizard of Oz, Ford Center, October 21, October 23, the Oxford Art Crawl, and much more. You know all the great things about Oxford, but those are some of the events coming to town. You can find out more. Visit oxfordms.com/events.
I mean, that's happened to the best of us, but usually it happens at like 19. It doesn't happen when you're a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Okay. My post-game columns and this podcast also sponsored by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust is based in Madison, Mississippi, but it represents clients in 24 states, and it has advisors in 3 states. Founded in 1997, Pinnacle Trust provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Pinnacle Trust, investing is treated like a commodity and decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. Regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan. Cookie-cutter financial planners put you in a box. At Pinnacle Trust, a box is built just for you. To learn more about Pinnacle Trust, go to pintrust.com. That's PINN trust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fee. I stopped at Pinnacle Trust on the way to Baton Rouge on Friday. The stuff they do is incredible. You owe it to yourself to give them a call, at least hear what they have to say. Their personalized approach, their detailed approach is phenomenal. It really had me kind of questioning some of the things I'm doing. It'll do the same to you. So get in touch with the people there at PinTrust at pintrust.com. The podcast also brought to you in part by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. Have you been thinking about that golf trip with the guys you'll never forget, or maybe that anniversary trip she'll never forget? Whether you've dreamed of playing St. Andrews or sitting at a cafe in Paris, talk to John Edwards before you try to do it yourself. Why use John? Well, he's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows John to supply his clients with added values and unique benefits that are simply not available to other travelers. John traveled the globe for 37 years before getting into the travel business, so he knows the extra attention that is needed to make a special trip one that creates a lifetime of unique memories. So if you're thinking about going with the boys to Pebble Beach or taking her to Napa for the vacation of her dreams, call John. Give him some parameters and a budget and let him give you some options. And know this, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. So call John 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. Podcast also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, look no further than Grenada Nissan. They have a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. They have great deals on leases as well. You can get a 2018 vehicle at 1990s prices on a lease. If you are limiting your mileage, maybe you just drive to and from work, you just put 10,000, 12,000 miles a year on a car, might be something to look into there at Grenada Nissan. Regardless, Gene and Sandy and the people there do an absolutely fantastic job. You'll love the relationship you'll build with the people at Grenada Nissan. Their service is fantastic. I've been doing business with them for more than 10 years. You should give them a chance too. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And the podcast is brought to you by Oxford University Bank. OUB is locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home, all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with the personal touch. When you call OUB, you speak directly with the live person, all without having to press 10 buttons and without a 5-minute wait. OUB offers its customers the absolute best cash checking account. It's called Kasasa, and with Kasasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000. And with Kasasa, ATM fees nationwide are refunded. OUB also offers online bill pay and mobile check deposit using its online app. To learn more about OUB, check out liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured.
Sorry, I had to step away for a second there. But anyway, yeah, I mean, we've harped on this a ton. There's just a little extra on it, what we kind of thought about yesterday. Not a lot else to say. They're going to play another game, and we'll have something else following that will be somewhat of a surprise, or it'll be more of the same, and we'll go from there. I mean, it is what it is right now. The fan base is what it is. No one can fix that except things on the field. I mean,
fans are mad, and I understand why they're mad. I am not the person that's ever going to tell you one of two things. I'm never going to be the guy that says you should boycott. That's not my place. And I'm never going to be the guy that says you should spend your money on something other than rebelgrove.com. I'm not going to sit here and be the guy that tells you that you're making a mistake to not use your tickets, blah, 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 blah. I'm not. That's not me. I'm not going to do it. I'll simply say that there's a lot of people that want a change to be made now. And I get that, except what good does it do? What good does that do? The people that he's going to hire are not leaving their current jobs now to come to Oxford after week 6. If Matt Luke hasn't made changes by December 20th, I think you have every right in the world to go grab your pitchfork. Until then, I think it's just a matter of you're going to have to be patient.
And everybody hates this. And we all know speculation. I don't know who is not getting replaced. They've got to pay some of these guys. And a lot of these assistant contracts are fully guaranteed. And the way that Matt Luke got, or Hugh Freeze even at that point, got some of these assistants was to give multi-year deals. That's just kind of the way this thing works right now. It is what it is. I'm looking here. I'd written a story about this, I guess before the season, last December, something like that. And I put the chart on the board a couple days ago. Going into this season, here are the year's terms and salaries for all the coaches. Jack Bicknell's on a 1-year deal worth $400,000. So if you wanted to fire Jack Bicknell for some reason, you wouldn't have to pay him anything. Charles Clark is on a 2-year deal for $350,000. Maurice Harris is on a 1-year deal for $400,000. Jason Jones is on a 2-year deal worth $400,000. That's their annual salaries, by the way, not total. Phil Longo is on a 2-year deal for $700,000. Wesley McGriff is on a 3-year deal for $1.1 million.
This is the
first of 3 years for $1.1 million. I don't have his buyout language, but I expect it to be substantial, if not guaranteed. Probably 1.2 next year, if you want to be honest, because that's what the original contract called for. The original contract called for 3 years at 1.11 and 1.2, and he has a rollover now. So it's a 3-year term beginning this year for $1.1 million. Derek Nix, 1 year at $400,000. Jacob Peeler, 1 year at $425,000. Freddie Roach, 3 years, $500,000. 3 years, $500,000 a year. And then John Summerall, 2 years, $350,000. Those are the coaching contracts and links for this season. So just a little FYI there, if nothing else.
And the money, I just feel like I'm talking down to people when I say this. I don't mean for it to. It's real money. From a program that's taken a 2-year bowl hit. And they talked about how they had plans for it, and I'm sure that they did. They planned appropriately, and they've managed, and they've been financially responsible, and all of those things, and they have really smart people poring over those numbers. But at the end of the day, as you always say, I mean, it's like when you balance your checking account. If your checking account has $1,300 left in it, you can't go write a check for $30,000. It's going to bounce.
It's like where Ole Miss is sitting right now, if they want to make a ton of changes. And again, maybe they just do it and you figure out a way and you make it happen, because that's the deal. You're going to lose money on the back end if it goes poorly. I mean, the stadium's not going to be full, season tickets, all the stuff that's obvious. Duh. But in a very rudimentary analogy, let's say your roof's leaking, and you go, hey, I can't really afford to replace that roof right now. And somebody goes, yeah, but if you don't, it's going to fall in. Well, that still doesn't change the fact that you have to have the money right now to pay for the roof. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or you're going to have to go do the roof yourself, or you're going to have to hire somebody to do cheap work.
So it's not as easy sometimes as, well, just go do it. I mean, I don't know. Interestingly enough, but nonetheless. You suffered through yesterday. You get to suffer through tonight as well at 7 o'clock. You have not been as antsy as some past seasons when I have seen you during the course of the playoffs. You're more Thunder level antsy than normal Cubs level antsy at this point.
Yeah. I don't think this team's good enough. I've said it all along. How long have I said this to you? 3 months?
I think say 75 days at least, probably.
This team's not good enough to win a playoff series. So I'm not particularly concerned. Tonight will be interesting. If they lose tonight, I'm hoping it's similar to yesterday, because the message gets sent loud and clear. Nothing blows me away more. This is the talent thing. This is where Ole Miss and Cubs are similar. Cubs Twitter, I don't understand why these guys aren't scoring runs. They're good. They're good. No, they're not. Wilson Contreras' numbers since the All-Star break are not good. Addison Russell was having a terrible year. The only thing he hit was his wife. Just because they're your guys and they wear your laundry and they were once good doesn't mean they're still good. They need a bat. This team needs an elite bat. This team needs to go after Bryce Harper. Period. Period. The whole, there's a wealth of riches. Okay, Albert Almora is your guy. You like him because he wears your jersey. And he scored a run in Game 7 of the World Series that we'll all remember for the rest of our lives if we're Cubs fans. And it doesn't mean that you forever hate Albert Almora. What it means is you let Albert Almora go now, and when he's 50, you bring him back to the Cubs convention and you celebrate that moment. But you don't hold on to sentimentality forever. Ian Happ's a nice player. He probably is a terrific trade chip somewhere.
And it's such a relative fine line because, again, they won 95 games, but you're talking about to be the number one team in baseball.
I'm talking about when you watch the Houston Astros play, when you watch the Boston Red Sox play, when you watch the healthy Dodgers play. Hey, by the way, kudos to the Dodgers front office because those guys are geniuses. All year, they managed Walker Buehler's pitches. Even at one point sent him to AAA because they knew dude was so intense. Hey, you're kind of coming off that little thing with your arm. Why don't you go to Albuquerque and we're going to put you on a pitch count for 3 weeks? And they let him throw a fit. And then he went to Albuquerque for 3 weeks and they managed his pitches.
He threw a fit.
Yeah. And they said, we're getting you where you're going to be ready for October because we're afraid that if you do this in June, we're going to be a little better now, but you won't be there in October, and we want to win in October. And he was great yesterday. My God, that's a good Rockies lineup, and he made them look bad. Cubs need another bat. They need another bat, period. And the message gets sent. Sometimes playoff losses are the ones that you really have to dissect, and they know what their deal is. They're not making enough hard contact. A lot of weak stuff. And Chris Bryant's been hurt all year. This is not a team that's positioned to go deep into a postseason. They've got to revamp some things. And they had a great run with this group, this core. My opinion, it's coming to an end tonight, and they're going to shake it up.
What's your setup tonight? Maybe nerves during the game, obviously. You'll be a little annoyed, but
I'll be cool because Carson gets so emotional about it.
Oh, yeah. You have that other factor now versus...
Yeah, he gets so angry about it. He wants him to win.
Will you watch if they lose? Will you pick a team up and follow? Because you like the baseball playoffs in general.
I mean, I'm sure I will. I'd love for the A's to go win. I've watched them a lot this year.
I have a weird soft spot for the A's that makes no sense.
I'd love for the A's to beat the Yankees tomorrow and then go into a series against Boston. I would cheer for Oakland for fun.
Okay. Win 97 games.
I don't know why, a little bit of a soft spot for the Braves. I think they're kind of fun. I think they've got their hands full.
Yeah, their work's cut out for them.
But I'll cheer for the Braves for fun. I won't care if they lose. I mean, I won't lose a split second of sleep. But no, I won't watch it closely. The NBA starts 2 weeks from tonight. I'll get into that.
It's fair. Long way since 2003 when you were going to movies and trying to decide what to do during
I'll watch.
events.
I'll watch tonight. I mean, look, they're going to hand the ball to John Lester, and he's been awfully good in October. And it's October, and they're going to hand him the baseball, and you never know. And if they win tonight,
who's Colorado throwing?
They're throwing Freeland, who's been terrific, but he's on 3 days rest.
Yeah.
And so you just don't know. And if they win tonight, the Cubs match up well with the Brewers. They're not as good as the Brewers, but they're close.
Cubs are minus 140 if you'd like to bet on it. So favorites, but not crazy favorites.
Yeah, it's about right.
Just favorites.
Colorado's got a better lineup. They're probably a little better team right now, but they're throwing a kid on 3 days rest, and who knows?
Some basketball injuries yesterday. Anything substantial?
Luis Rodriguez's injury is significant because he was going to play. I don't know that Franco Miller, they really knew enough about him to know that he was going to play. I don't think he factored heavily into their plans right now. They'll both be back in 5 weeks. The season is 6 weeks away. I mean, for all of the bluster about basketball yesterday, it's still October the 2nd. They don't play till November the 10th.
Yeah, it almost kind of shocked me when you said that this morning. I was like, oh, yeah, we're not there yet.
We're not right there, no. It's a lot of talk about focus on defense, which is what Kermit Davis is all about. A lot of talk about trying to turn Terrence Davis into an elite defender. Good luck. Some stuff like that. I mean, it's fine. It's October.
Yeah. Quickly, as we move on, the podcast brought to you in part by Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. So you're getting local underwriting. Understands your market, a leader in condo financing, and the float-down option. So give Jason a call at 662-234-2704 or JLowe, JLOWE, at communitymtg.com.
Megan Phillips with LAH Real Estate is the person to call for all your real estate needs in the Birmingham area. With almost a decade of experience, Megan's knowledge and expertise can help you buy or sell your home today. So visit her website at meganmphillips.com. That's MEAGANMphillips.com. Or call Megan at 205-602-7929. Again, 205-602-7929.
All right. As we move on toward the end of the show, I was a little surprised by this. My reaction to it, because at first you kind of go, yeah, and then you go, you look at it a little deeper. Yesterday, coming out that the NCAA has cited Baylor for lack of institutional control and a notice of allegations. Baylor is Ole Miss fans are very, very well aware by now, have 90 days to respond, and you start the whole thing over and over and over again. Art Briles being cited in there for failing to promote an atmosphere of compliance. You don't say, huh? This is going to be an interesting deal because the NCAA had to back off Penn State for dealing in somewhat of criminal matters. I know it's not the same thing, but it sort of is. And a lot of it is that players were shielded from law enforcement being their impermissible benefit, which is an interesting take on it. If I'm Baylor, though, or not really if I'm Baylor, I don't care what happens to Baylor at the school. It's been terrible. Matt Rule, though.
I'm out.
Well, Matt Rule is involved with none of this. It's not his fault. You essentially let Baylor go through a probation and waited this long to do it where they have to do it again. That's what's unfair about this, is punish them. But punish them at the beginning. I mean, it's like Ole Miss, where guys being punished that were like 11 years old when this whole thing started. That's the stupidity of where we are here, because Matt Rule is having to deal with, if he happened to stay, and he's not, he's going to leave, he's having to deal with 2 separate probations just because of the NCAA's lack of competence in this.
The NCAA Enforcement Division is criminally inept.
Yeah.
They're horrible. They're the worst people in the world. They're incompetent. They're agenda-based. They are horrible. Like NCAA, Emily, and all those people over there have no redeeming value as human beings. None. When you think you're better than them, you are. You wake up and breathe in the morning, you have beaten them. It's disgraceful. I think sometimes that's what that's what Ole Miss people, what they want to hear instead of the hostage video. I think what they want when this is over, they want someone to step up and go, "This was wrong," and let me count the wrong ways. They want to hear some passion from somebody when it's all over. And no, I've gotten questions about, have we heard anything on the appeal? No, nothing. It's the middle of October soon, and nothing's been heard. The NCAA takes forever. Unless it's Tennessee State, where a kid's practically dead on the field and people are trying to raise money for his family and stuff, and the NCAA goes, whoa, hold up.
2 things. One on each of those.
Okay.
One, is it possible, anything's possible, the NCAA is waiting to see if Ole Miss gets 6 wins?
Oh, sure.
They don't get bowl eligible. Oh, we were going to turn it back over. Dang it.
Doggone.
Yeah, y'all could have gone to the Birmingham Bowl this year. And then they don't, or they do, and then they go, no, sorry.
Oh, it's possible.
Ban.
I put nothing past them. I think they're criminally inept. agenda-driven, horrible human beings.
On the Tennessee State thing,
Okay.
Godfrey was having a good bit of fun with this last night.
Well, it helps when you can be on the high horse and be completely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has let me count the ways that the NCAA has doctored things over the years.
Yeah, he's dealt with them on levels that I haven't. And the description that I just gave of the NCAA, I think Stephen
would be kind.
I think Stephen would say I was being generous.
Yeah.
By saying that they're human beings
devoid of human
with no redeemable value at all.
Yeah.
Like they do not deserve to be loved. Yeah, everybody goes, everyone deserves to be loved. Everyone deserves someone who loves them.
Yeah,
no,
take how you feel about that puppy, the exact opposite.
Yeah, I don't think if those people – I think if the NCAA enforcement staff, if you dropped a pack of 12-week-old Labrador retrievers into the NCAA offices, I expect that you would hear them snarling and going for blood rather than curling up and being adorable little fur balls.
And you trust the instincts of labs.
Completely.
You do.
If a Labrador retriever doesn't like you, something's wrong.
That's your fault.
That's on you.
You do. You grade humans on how labs and dogs react to them.
A lot. Rarely wrong. Rarely wrong.
One of your daughters brings home a boy and the lab hates him. You go, hey, what's up?
Something's up.
What's the problem here?
Yep.
So advice to anyone out there, rub the lab's ears and let's make good.
Yep.
And Rizzo just wants a biscuit.
Bad. Rizzo's on a diet right now. He really wants a biscuit.
Oh, he's on a diet now,
a little
too?
chunky.
Really?
Yeah. Gus is. Have you seen Gus?
Gus looks good.
Gus looks like a professional athlete.
Gus looks as good as Gus can look because he doesn't have the bone structure that Rizzo has.
No, and as expensive as that damn food is, he ought to look good.
I mean, Rizzo has a perfect head and jaw and everything. I mean, he's kind of the Ryan Gosling of labs.
Yeah,
Gus is not.
Yeah. Gus is more like his daddy.
Gus has a little McCready quality.
There's not much he can do about it.
You know, the Tennessee State thing, I guess credit for actually letting the school raise money for the kid. Yeah. Well, no, I'm not really even playing devil's advocate. I do. Okay, look. They should have approved all GoFundMes.
Yes.
No doubt. Should have. They should have. And the way they handled it, because they can't do anything correctly from a PR standpoint, was abysmal. But that's just
because they have no social skills at all.
Yeah, that was just them. But I do think you had to make very, very clear there's a waiver and there's certain things there to not create a precedent for GoFundMe accounts for kids.
Fair enough.
As dumb as that is, there needed to be some type of splice there for precedent.
Then issue a press release that has some humanity in it.
Well, of course. Again, they have no people skills.
None.
They don't understand straight questions at all.
They don't even bother to pet the Labrador Retriever when it comes.
The Tennessean wrote something yesterday. SB Nation just aggregated it and took the quote. And then the NCAA called out SB Nation.
Because SB Nation hurt their feelings.
Yes.
SB Nation hurt their feelings.
Yes. They used a headline they didn't like. And they already hated them from before anyway.
Well, they hated them from before.
And now they just won't answer their questions.
Because they had the audacity to say that they're horrible human beings.
That's pretty much
And I can tell you, having dealt with one of them in person, horrible human beings. Disgraceful human beings. Deplorable human beings.
Yeah, like, the bad connotation that, like, auditors get?
Yeah.
Nowhere close to as bad as NCAA.
No, they make an auditor look like a Labrador Retriever.
Yeah.
A puppy. A well-loved, well-fed puppy.
Well, the SB Nation used the headline, why would the NCAA stop a GoFundMe for an injured linebacker?
It's fair.
It's fair. It's what happened. They stopped a GoFundMe for an injured linebacker. So.
Not only injured, severely injured.
Yeah. No doubt. I don't know. Crazy enough. Anyway. All right. Let's see. We got up at rebelgrove.com, some recruiting, Russell getting to work. We've got some football.
Basketball.
A lot of basketball. Media day yesterday. We'll discuss that a little bit more tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. We'll talk about something tomorrow. Media day for that. I'll have some grades and different things. I'm sure you're really excited to see what those look like after Saturday. Those up at rebelgrove.com and all football content and more. Talk to you tomorrow.